Hello. Today I want to mention a few things about ADHD, ADD and high functioning autism. There are quite a few people who come to us who have these things, and that's where our name SPELADD came from, or part of it, the end part, was because so many people coming to see us had some aspects of attention deficit disorders. The main problem with attention deficit disorders is distractibility, but they do have some positive things, and one of them is if they get really interested in something, they can concentrate on that really well. And this is very similar to what happens to a lot of people with high functioning autism, that they concentrate on perhaps one thing at a time, but for them it's almost to the complete avoidance of anything else that's around them. In fact, I've had people who try to change the topic all the time back to the particular thing they're interested in. So often people will say, oh, well, they can't concentrate on anything, but forgetting that they do concentrate on some things. So ADHD, some of them, the most annoying thing about them is they're very persistent about something that they really like, and they just go on and on and on. You'll be trying to get them off to bed, but they'll come out at 10 o'clock. Oh, but I've just remembered this. We need to be doing this particular thing, which of course they don't need to be, but they're just persistent on that particular thing. But one of the most dangerous things for them is impulsivity. Some of them are so impulsive that they are a danger to themselves and often to other people. They're the kind that run out from behind a car without stopping, without looking, and are quite likely to get injured, not just with cars hitting them in that instance, but all sorts of other instances. In fact, one person said, if you want to find an ADHD person with impulsivity, you go to the chemist or the A&E department, because there they are buying up more bandages, more elastoplasts, or anything that will help them to recover reasonably well. But it is dangerous for them. And with people like that, you have to give them the idea to the fact that they need to stop before they go to do something. So they need to learn to stop and then think. Now, what's my option? Is it to stand here and look to the left and look to the right, or do I just dash across the road? And that way they may eventually learn that you stop and think before you actually do something new and different. With people with high functioning autism, some of their main problems are relating to people socially, or even wanting to be near people socially. They often find it much easier to relate to a cat or a dog because they're quite predictable. Sometimes people just aren't predictable, and it causes a lot of anxiety. So you will find that they need a lot more reassurance. They often need to be told what to expect so that they don't have too many surprises, and they just don't like surprises. So think about that if you've got a child who is really, really anxious and doesn't like doing new things. Some of the other things about people with autism is their senses. They have trouble with too loud as far as noise goes. They might have trouble with lights, flickering lights, and just they don't like bright things. Some of them might hide under a desk. A lot of them have been known to hide in dark places when they just don't like those bright things. Some of them don't like the actual clothes that they might be wearing, particularly perhaps woolen things, not the merino wool, but the other heavier wools which can be a bit more scratchy, and that they're quite sensitive to touch, and some of them just don't like people touching them. And that's why they're often thought to be standoffish, and they really are, because they don't like people that much on the whole. One person I'd advise you to look up on the internet is a person called Tony Attwood, and he has quite a lot to say about high functioning autism.